أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. حرمت عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل لغير الله به والمنخنقة والموقوذة والمتردية والنطيحة وما أكل السبع إلا ما ذكيتم وما ذبح على النصب وأن تستقسموا بالأزلام ذلكم فسق. اليوم يئس الذين كفروا من دينكم فلا تخشوهم واخشون اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا فمن اضطر في مخمصة غير متجانف لإثم فإن الله غفور رحيم. صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. The third ayat of Surah Al-Ma'idah, and as was said yesterday, this is in terms of ahkam, this is the last ayah of the Quran. No new ahkam came, and the Prophet ﷺ passed away from this world after roughly 80 to 81 days after the coming of this ayah. The occasion was the day of Arafah, which is Sayyidul Ayyam, the best of the days, the leader of the days of the whole year. The time was when the Prophet ﷺ was performing Wuquf of Arafat, the 9th of Zul-Hijjah. After Asr, the day was Friday. The first part of the ayah, which talks about, so from the beginning of the surah and after this ayah as well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking continuously about what is halal and what is haram, what is permissible and what is impermissible. So yesterday, the part of the ayah that we explained, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifically clarified what is haram and what is halal. Now, right after that, in the same ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, this part of the ayah that we are doing today is اليوم يئس الذين كفروا من دينكم فلا تخشوهم واخشون. This day, today, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the kuffar, those who disbelieve, they have lost all hope of damaging your faith. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving a great news to the Muslims, and the situation is such that Makkah was conquered last year, and at the time of Hajjatul Wida', almost all the Arab is under the control of Muslims. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that today the kuffar have lost all hope of ever overpowering you. So in the Bilad of Arab and in Makkah, your rule has been established, and they have lost hope of ever overpowering you or ever making you turn away from your deen. فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَخْشَوْنَ. Stop fearing them. So you need not be afraid of their constant plans, but keep on fearing me. And herein is the hint that fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will take care of all the enemies for you. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just like He's taken care of these people to the day of judgment. Keep on fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and acting as He has commanded. He will keep on taking care of all the enemies that challenge you. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum. Today, this day, akmaltu lakum deenakum. We have perfected your deen for you. Wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati, and we have completed our blessing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, atmamtu alaykum ni'mati, I have completed my blessing upon you. Wa raditu lakum al-islam deena, and I have become happy. I have chosen Islam as the way of life for you. So this news was a great news for the Sahaba, and this news was also a great news for the Prophet ﷺ. As we have heard, the Prophet ﷺ on that same day kept on asking and reminding the Sahaba that, have I delivered the complete deen to you? And they said, yes, Ya Rasulullah, you have. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pointed the Prophet ﷺ pointed his finger towards the sky and said, Allahumma shahad. O Allah, be a witness that these people are giving testimony that I have done my job, I have completed my job. And also the immediate challenges in terms of establishing the control and writ of Islam had also been taken care of. When this ayah was revealed, all the Sahaba became very happy. Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anh started crying. And when the Prophet ﷺ asked him, why are you crying? He said that, herein I find news that your departure from this world is near. And the Prophet ﷺ confirmed it, that yes, my departure from this world is near, because the purpose, the word akmaltu basically means perfected, the translation is perfected, but in it the meaning is hidden, is that the real purpose that was the intended purpose has been achieved. The intended purpose has been achieved. So Sayyidina Umar Khattab radiallahu anhu understood that the intended purpose of coming of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been achieved. So now his departure from this world is near. This also means that no new ahkam will be added in Islam. No new ahkam will be added in Islam. So there is some detail to this. The ahkam, the rulings of the whole way of life till the day of judgment have been given in the Quran. So no new obligations can be added in Islam. No new faraiz can be added in Islam. If the time changes and something new arises and a new ruling is sought, it will be based in the Quran of what has already been revealed. وَأَتْمَمْتُ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعْمَتِي, there's two meanings written by Mufassirin about this. One is that your dependence upon everyone else, your dependence upon your alliances that you may have needed in the past, your dependence has been taken care of. Now you are not dependent on anyone. Atmamtu alaykum ni'mati, my blessing upon you is complete upon you. Now you are independent over, now you are not dependent over kuffar or any other nations. You have your deen, you have your country, you have your mulk, you have your land, establish it, and you do not need to be dependent upon anyone else. The other meaning that the Mufassirin have went with is that this ni'mat also refers to the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the form of Islam. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the that came before Islam and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they had deen, they were given shara'i or ways of life that were perfect or complete in relation to that time. But when that time passed and a new time came and new requisites came, then in relation to the new requirements, that previous sharia, that previous deen became imperfect. And there was a need for a new Nabi and a need for a new code of conduct. The Prophet ﷺ in this ayah of the Quran says that to the day of judgment, this is رَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا, this is the final and the perfect deen, this is deen till eternity. The way liked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you is Islam, and this will never change. This ayah gives another good news that till the day of judgment, Islam is going to stay relevant. Islam is going to stay relevant and applicable. So people who say that these things of Islam, these things of the Quran are from 1400 years old, they are very relevant and they are very applicable in every day, be it 100 years down the lane, be it 1,000 years down the lane, be it 2,000 years down the lane, till eternity. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the glad tidings that the happiness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the rida of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is hidden, is kept in Islam. It is said that some ulama of Yahud came to Sayyidina Umar Khattab radiallahu anhu when he was the Khalifa and said that in your Quran there is one ayah. If we were given that ayah, we'd have made it a day of celebration. And they referred to this ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given 3 glad tidings end on end to the Muslims. Sayyidina Umar Khattab radiallahu anhu took it very lightly and said, yes, I know exactly that day and time, but in Islam, the days of celebration are based on extreme pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is already a day, this is already in the Sharia of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidul Ayyam, but it is not the day of Eid. The day of Eid was, as told by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the very next day, the 10th day of Zil Hajj. So the birth, the death, those are not important in terms of celebration of anybody. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala returns in the last part of the ayah to the subject again. فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ فِي مَخْمَصَةٍ غَيْرَ مُتَجَانِفٍ لِإِثْمٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. In terms of halal and haram, those things that have been prohibited, if somebody is compelled by extreme hunger to consume from those things that are forbidden, for example, the dead, the blood, khinzir or swine, anything that over which the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not taken, munkhaniqah, mawquda, mutaraddiya, natiha, akal as-sab'. Those things that, something that has been hit and then died, some animal that has fallen and died, some animal that has been hit with a blunt object and has died, some animal that has munkhaniqa, has been killed by strangulation, lost its life because of strangulation, suffocation. Those animals only can be partaken if somebody is compelled by extreme hunger. So that would mean that if somebody does not partake of it, they will die. So in that amount, as much as is necessary to make them survive. And this is clarified here. غَيْرَ مُتَجَانِفٍ لِإِثْمٍ, having no inclination towards sin. So somebody partakes of haram only to save their life, and only the amount that is required to save their life, not to derive any pleasure or satisfaction out of it, then that is permissible. So the confusion that is going on, that living in the United States we do not get halal meat, of course, first of all, that is false. We can get perfectly halal meat here if we just tried. And the other thing is that when people use this ayah to say that if halal is not allowed, then not available, then you can partake of haram, it is only permissible to take even like a small bite that will just make you get by, make you survive, and even that does not apply. غَيْرَ مُتَجَانِفٍ لِإِثْمٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. If you do that, if you partake of that little just to survive, then Allah is most forgiving, very merciful. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning His attributes of being forgiving and merciful, because it still does not become halal, it is still a sin, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to forgive it, since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafoor and Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, salatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbi ighfir warham wa anta khairur rahimin. Allahumma ij'alna min ahli al-Qur'an alladhi ahluka wa khassatuk. Sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqihi Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ameen bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.